So when you have a scene that is pretty complex, you have to be very careful when you're working with objects. And to help with that, we have the hide tool to organize our work plane. And along with that, I'll also be teaching you some important keyboard shortcuts that you can use to make your work easier and more organized. So now that you've seen that I can click on one object, hold shift and click on another object, this is a very common and very careful way to select objects. So if you have a scene with a bunch of objects, it can be very tricky to select and work with individual objects. So to fix that problem, we can hide certain objects to make it clear and clean up our workspace to work with different other things. So to hide an object, we will select the object we want to hide and we will press H to hide. So now you can see that that object is translucent and it somewhat clears our work plane. If you want to hide a couple of objects, you could select them, press H, and it will hide all the objects that we didn't want. So now we can go closer and work on these specific objects clearly. And if you want to unhide them, you could always select all of them and press H again to unhide them. And let's say you hid the wrong objects and you want to undo them, you could always go back and click the undo button and it will bring back what you've done as a mistake. So another thing is, when you're working with any design program or any computer program at all, what we can do is we can use keyboard shortcuts so that you can have one hand on your mouse and another hand on your keyboard, and this way you can work much more quicker. And you also wouldn't end up hurting your wrist by clicking around a lot. So to find out the keyboard shortcuts of certain things, you could just hover over them. So if I hover over the paste button, you will see that Ctrl plus V is the shortcut for paste. And how about undo? So the shortcut for redo will be Ctrl plus Y, and the shortcut for copy would be Ctrl plus C, and the shortcut for mirror would be M. So since all this can be a little difficult to learn, by practice you will always figure out everything and it will be right in your brain where you need it. And we have also attached a PDF document consisting of all the shortcuts you will need to work fluently on Tinkercad. So let's try using some of the shortcuts. Now I want to group all my keys and I want to do them fast. So I'm going to select the objects I want to group by holding down Shift, and I'm going to hover over the group icon and it says Ctrl and G to group. So if I press Ctrl and G, you can see that this entire thing became one object, and that is how I grouped it using a shortcut. And this is a great way to work really quickly, really easy, and not put all the stress on one hand. Because right now you may not know it, but the older you get, you do a lot of computer work and then you can end up easily injuring yourself. So it is important to use both hands. So make good use of keyboard shortcuts as we approach the final few videos of this puzzle.